This is your last spoiler warning. I will be getting into the details of this movie. I realize that it is new. It is available right now on HBO Max as of this date. It is available on Blu-ray. Spoilers ahead. Since 2011, we have heard rumors about a Final Destination 6. Tony Todd had said that if 5 did well, they were going to shoot 6 and 7 back to back. That didn't happen. There was talk about how the writers of Saw 4, 5, 6, and 7 were going to come in. They were going to do a soft reboot of the franchise, and it was going to be more violent and more bloody, darker. We heard a lot of rumors. And then in early 2020, we heard about Final Destination 6. It's going to follow a group of first responders who have a disaster, they cheat death, blah, 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 the usual. And throughout 2020, the idea of doing a horror movie with first responders felt kind of wrong to me. These people were on the front lines during COVID. They couldn't see their families, they couldn't do a lot of things because they were face first with this. So it didn't feel right. In January 2022, it was announced that the sixth movie was in active development and it was going to be moving forward. It was going to shoot and premiere exclusively on HBO Max. About a month before the movie started filming, though, things changed. The studio decided, no, 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 no. We're going to make this as big of an event as we can. We're going to shoot this for IMAX. But what to call it? Final Destination 6, while obvious, is a risky title after 14 years of no movement in the franchise. There's gotta be a subtitle that sums up the movie that isn't overplayed or has negative connotations in the horror community. What what could it be? How about Bloodlines? Yeah, sure, why not? No bad movie has ever been subtitled Bloodlines.
You make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and
In 1969, Iris and her boyfriend attend the opening of a new restaurant called the Sky View. The restaurant is inside the tallest tower in the city. Due to a small series of incidents, the tower will collapse and kill every person in the restaurant. But Iris has a vision, and through her action, she is able to save every person in the building and stop the collapse. In 2024, Stephanie Reyes has recurring dreams of the vision that Iris had. She goes to meet her estranged grandmother, Iris, and finds out that death is not just after the people from the restaurant, but their entire lineage. It's up to her to try to save her bloodline.
This book is a lifeline.
Ah, feels familiar talking about this movie.
So I am just out of the theater, seeing Final Destination Bloodlines tonight.
Aw, look at little old baby me. That was a whole 3 months ago. God, movies come out fast now. Anyway, I had been told by my therapist that he wanted me to start getting into YouTubing and reviewing movies. And I was having a damn time trying to figure out what my first video should be. I wanted to do something with Final Destination. I wanted to do a ranking or review all the movies or something. And I knew I was going to see the movie the Thursday that it came out. So I just said, fuck it. Put up my phone, shot a little review. And since then, I've learned a few things. I've learned how to edit a little bit. I've learned how to put clips in. I learned how to improve and grow. But I'm not here to review videos that I made. I'm here to review the movie. Since all the characters in this movie are a family, we really get to see how they interact, how they play off of each other, and it feels unique in the franchise. We've never had an entire family as our cast of characters. Stephanie is our main character, and she has a brother named Charlie. Ever since Stephanie left for college, she's been really distant and hasn't been in touch as much with Charlie, her dad, or her cousins, aunt and uncle. Charlie has started bonding with the cousins more, particularly Julia. Julia used to be best friends with Stephanie, but, well, now their relationship is strained. Unfortunately, this is something that is true and does happen. People get busy, they start doing things, and they stop reaching out. They lose contact, and before you know it, there's a giant wedge in a family that shouldn't be there.
Julia, look, I love you. But sometimes I really hate you.
Grandma Iris is estranged because she went overboard and overprotective after her husband died. Child Protective Services had to get involved. After Stephanie and Charlie were born, their mom went overboard and she left. Howard, on the other hand, used this and he found a wife. He had 3 kids. He became the ultimate dad. This movie is about generational trauma and how people use it and react to it and rise above it or fall victim to it. Oh, ow, 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 ow. The deaths have a lot of CG, but for the majority of them, they look great. This movie had a $50 million budget, and every penny is on the screen. It looks fantastic. There are 2 moments in this movie that make me. There are 2 moments in this movie that make me wince, and I never get that. And so to have that twice in one movie is amazing.
Oh, good.
It would be so easy to take these characters and just make them a bunch of stereotypes and cliches, but the movie doesn't do that. Anna Lore plays Julia, and on paper, she's a bitch, but through her performance, you completely understand who she is, where she's coming from in her relationships with the others. Kaitley Santawana carries the movie on her shoulders as Stephanie, and I think she does an amazing job. Theo Briones moves from Chucky to Death. He's great as the younger brother. Owen Patrick Joyner is fantastic as Bobby and gives him a real heart and oh baby feel that you don't want to see anything bad happen to him. But the real MVP of this movie is Richard Harmon as Eric. He steals just about every scene he's in and instantly becomes a top 5 character in the whole franchise. He is such a great character that the entire teaser trailer was just the tattoo parlor sequence with him. Tony Todd returns one final time as William Bloodworth, and the movie came out after his death. He had died, and we started getting images of him, and everybody could see just how sick he was. But he came back because he loved the character so much. For years, fans debated about Bloodworth. Who is he? What is he? Is he a spirit? Is he an angel? Is he death itself? And he's a guy. He's a guy. As a child, he was at the Skyview restaurant, and he was supposed to die. But he was the last one in the vision, and he managed to cheat death all these years. It's one of those things where I'm not mad that they gave us an answer, especially considering that this is Tony Todd's last performance in the franchise. But it's one of those things where the mystique was so much better.
William John Bloodworth, but my friends call me JB.
Hearing Tony Todd's voice, you hear how weak he was, and it's one of those things that it brings a tear to your eye when you're watching the movie. When they were filming, they reached a point and they looked at him and they threw out the script and they said, what do you want to say? What do you want to say not only to these characters, but to the fans? And for his last couple of moments on screen in this franchise, that's Tony Todd speaking from the heart to us. Rest in peace.
Life is precious. Enjoy every single second.
From all accounts that I have ever heard about you, you were an intelligent man, you were warm, but most importantly, you were kind.
Good luck.
Death is working differently this time around, and it's working in a way we've never seen before. Death is still going after people in the Vision in the order that they died in the Vision. However, because so much time has passed, these people have had lives, and they've had kids, and they've had grandkids. So what happens is Death takes out the person from the restaurant, and then takes out the first oldest child, then takes out that child's kids, in order of their age. Then we'll go to the next oldest child of the person from the restaurant, then take out their kids. And if they have even more children, he'll go back and take out the next person from the restaurant and their kids. Death is working like multiple pyramid schemes in this movie. Iris has secluded herself in a cabin, and this feels like the ultimate evolution of Clear and Alex from the first two movies. In the first movie, Alex secludes himself in a cabin until he realizes he has the order wrong and he leaves. We start Final Destination 2 with Clear at a mental institution where she's committed to a padded room. Iris has her cabin set up so that way she can see the signs coming. You little fucker. But Death is working the long game this time around. Death can't get to Iris through any of its normal tricks. Cancer. Bloodworth is last on the list, and, well, it's got to go through Iris and Iris's family before Death can get to Bloodworth. Cancer. This feels like an ultimate fuck you to these characters for them having cheated Death for so long.
Been keeping him at bay for years now. And now he's got me. Cancer.
We also get to see what happens if you aren't on Death's list, but you keep interfering. Death will give you a warning, and if you don't heed its warnings, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be painful, and it's gonna be glorious.
Bobby, this is all part of the plan. Just calm down.
Unfortunately, the hospital is the high point of the movie. It is an amazing set piece, and it is fantastic to watch. However, the movie falls off afterwards, and it never reaches those heights again. The movie rapidly loses steam as the ending comes, and it's the product of a reshoot, and it feels like it. And it's a damn shame, because up to that point, this movie was perfect to me. One of the things that really, really works great in this movie is how it plays with our conceptions of the characters. Eric has an incident, but he didn't die. And for a little bit in the movie, you're sitting there wondering, why is Eric still alive? Why did he cheat Death here? And then the kicker comes that Eric isn't Howard's son. Eric is the product of an affair. Now, whether Howard ever knew this or not is never explored. Instead, what we do get to explore is how Eric's relationship with his brother doesn't change. That's still his brother. And it's one of the things I really love, that sometimes our family isn't blood. Sometimes our family is the people that we find along the way, and we keep them.
You're a good brother, Eric. Not check. What?
This is the fourth movie in the franchise that ends with our lead characters dying. And it feels really stale at this point. Final Destination 3 has ambiguity about it. The movie ends as she realizes that she's having a vision. Okay. Final Destination 4 has this whole thing where you see the truck crash into the building and everybody turns into 3D skeletons and it's X-ray and it's cool looking. You don't have to see the characters die. Final Destination 5, you find out everything was a prequel, and so, well, they have to die. And it's sad, but you're also still kind of on a high from the twist ending. Here, it just kind of feels mean-spirited, which is completely different from the tone that the movie has had before. If it were up to me, I would cut the movie about 20 seconds earlier, where you see the train crash through the woods, and then I would cut to black. Because the audience knows that these characters are dead. You don't need to see it.
You know you make me wanna kick my
This movie rewards eagle-eyed viewers, and there are a lot of things that I caught the first time, and there are some that I caught on a second rewatch, such as Paul's license plate at the very beginning is FL818E. Flight 18E. I like it. There's a lightning bolt and a magnet, neon signs at Eric's tattoo parlor. At the backyard bar,
Bobby.
Eric is wearing a sweatshirt that has a bunny on a pogo stick, foreshadowing the spring that will later, well, you know. There's a lot here that I really enjoyed catching. When I walked into the movie theater to see this, I was hyped. I said it then. I still stand by it. This was my most anticipated movie of 2025. I had the theater to myself as the lights dimmed, and then about 15 people walked in, and I was like, fuck. Okay. I'm not alone in the theater. Don't be obnoxious. And from the second the movie started, it's so nice to hear that again. I was on cloud 9. I was having a ball. And I was doing my best not to be annoying or obnoxious. Although,
Because death's not coming for our
ha! I didn't always succeed. I left the theater going, well, okay. I think that the humor, the kills, the gore, the premonitions, the Rube Goldberg deaths, all of it is on point. Aside from the last 15 minutes of the movie, it's an A+. It's mwah. I love it. The ending is what kills it for me. But it's still highly recommended, and it is still a great time.
No.
Wow. I've reviewed every Final Destination now. Wow. You should rank them all. Fuck it. Okay.
Like and subscribe on all the
What he said.